Well, welcome on this new episode of Renegade Talk with the amazing, incredible Uncle Ray from Vibe Reactions. Hi,
How are you doing, Lisa?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
Fan freaking tastic.
So, I was really interested in talking to you because you have an amazing channel, first of all. I'm really
I
always
appreciate
very invested in your videos, and I'm laughing my head off every time. So, I
you. I
love the
appreciate that.
angle you took with that. And I
Thank
really
you.
wanted to know before we dive into all the Ren stuff. I just wanted to know how that came about and what made you start this channel. What was the idea behind the beginning of the channel?
The My wife was the one behind the beginning of my channel. Definitely my wife. I used to watch reaction channels a lot for Eminem. I'm a big Eminem fan, so I started just watching reactions, and then it came to a point where now I was interacting with the reactions, where I'm
Mm.
just cursing at the phone and fighting with the reactor because he didn't catch a bar or whatever the case was, or that the reactor wasn't just doing anything, just sitting there doing nothing. So my wife was like, well, then why don't you do it? And
Yeah.
then it kind of clicked something there. I always thought I wanted to do it, but I was like, I don't know. I don't want to put my face on camera. And
Mm.
then I ended up doing it. I said, you know what, screw it. I'm going to do it. I started watching videos of how to do it, contacting other reactors, and they were more than happy to give me information that I needed.
Mm.
Shout out to Jay Riz and King Blitz. Those two were the main ones that really be like, yo, you need to do this and you need to do that. Get this program. This is how you record. This is how you put it in up in YouTube and download. And then tutorial videos took care of the rest. And then
Yeah.
I started. I started with my phone in the car, and then 3 years later, I'm doing it full time here.
That's amazing. You must feel so great about having reached that because that I think even when you start a channel, because I know how it is for me. I started not so long ago, and at the beginning you're like, oh, I could do this and this could be fun. But then at one point you always think about how would my life be if I could do only this. And
Right.
I suppose that once you get to that point, it must be so rewarding and so great to
It,
be able
it
to
it
live up.
it's a feeling that until this day I still can't believe it when I wake up in the morning that I could get to do this full time. But it's not necessarily what I'm gaining from YouTube in the financial part of it, because
Mhm.
my wife was the one that actually told me, look, I'm in a position at my job where I got you. With what
Mm.
you're making on YouTube, you could pay your bills. Yes, you'll be completely broke when you're done, but the bills will be paid. And I that's my fear, because I've been the main breadwinner in the household for 17 years. For me to
Yeah.
just leave a job that I've been in for so long with a 401k, and that I was making 6 digits a year, and all that, just to say, all right, guys, I'm out. I'm going to go to something that I'm making 25,000 a year.
Mm.
And but then when I made that trade, it was scary. But then I was just like, one day I woke up and I'm like, yo, I am doing this for a living.
Yeah.
Like, I am literally just sitting here. Yes, it's a lot of work that goes in the back scene of it, but it's work that I have no problem doing, that I'm not going to
Yeah.
complain for doing, because I love doing it that much. And then when I started to see that, then I started to see my mental health get better.
Yeah.
Once I started to really dive in and say, you know what, I'm going to put 110% into this,
Mm.
and let me see what happens. Let me see if I can make this work.
Yeah.
And I'm in the process of trying to see if I can make this work.
Well, it seems to be working fine right now.
A little bit.
I
A
thi-
little bit.
yeah, I think you're building a real community there, and I can see that what you decided to do your personal take on the channel is people just love it, and I think people are really invested in you as a person because you're being very genuine and very real. And I think that's something that we're lacking today, authenticity. I think that's also that what attracts so many people to Ren as an artist is that he's being 100% genuine and authentic. And because we've had all these situations, with what I don't know when it started exactly, but like just for instance, the Instagram filters, and where you don't even know if it's the person's face. So I think, taking it from there, going all the way to having fake videos and AI and all of that, I think people are really looking for, a real human who's really authentic, really genuine, and where they can relate to. So I think that you're doing that wonderfully good.
I appreciate that. Thank you. And I mean, that's what my wife said. And like in the beginning, she said, I said, something's wrong. There's something wrong. I don't know. I just don't feel right. And she was like, after the last couple of videos, you kind of, you're kind of forcing it.
Mm,
After the first couple of, she was like, it doesn't seem you. It doesn't, you seem too stressed or you seem too
yeah,
tense. She was like,
yeah,
it doesn't seem like you. You're not letting yourself out. And
yeah,
then I started to see that more and more and more. And I was always worried about, if I say something wrong, what is someone's going to say in the comment sections? I don't want
yeah,
people badgering me and attacking me.
yeah,
I'm literally was needed to find something to help me with my sobriety. So I was
yeah,
painting first, and then I found YouTube. And
yeah.
then when I found YouTube, and then I said, you know what, fuck it. I don't care what anyone says about me. I really
Mm,
don't. And if they don't like what my opinion is on anything, that's their problem. It's not going to be mine. Once I had
yeah.
that mindset, that's when it took off because people started to
Right.
relate to that.
Yeah, well, of course. And I think it's also because it is, we're living with social media where everyone is interacting so much and commenting on everything, and everyone thinks their opinion is valid. So everyone is giving their opinion, and then there are those who've had a bad day who just need to, take some pressure off, and who are just going to
They're
attack
going to find the
someone
first person.
openly. And sorry.
They're going to attack the first person they see.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just, it's an easy outlet, I think, for all the rage and the anger that everyone can feel in their lives. And it's just easy to go on the internet and just, go at
Right.
someone. But I think then distancing yourself from that, because it has nothing to do with you as a person, because those people don't know you. Actually, they
Nope.
just know a part of you that you decide to put out publicly, but they don't know you as a person. So I think it's really important to just distance yourself, and not pay attention to those type of comments. It's obviously it's important to be active in the comment section, I think, for a creator to interact with the
Oh,
community
yeah,
and with people who
absolutely.
are interested in you. But like all of those comments, I just let them fly.
I know I like to mess with them a little bit just because
I was
I
so
just like to
sure.
mess with them a little bit. But but I no, I understand what you're saying. Like if you pay too much mind to it, but then it gets to a point where you understand now. You finally like understand. Somebody could tell you that, and somebody could say, "Oh, it's just a comment. They don't know you." You could, but at the end of the day, we're all human, and we're all, if somebody's coming and attacking you as a human, you're gonna feel it. Once
Oh yeah,
I got to that point of I wholeheartedly in my heart, I don't care.
yeah,
That's when I just like, dude, if you agree with me, you agree. I'm not here to make up your mind for you.
yeah,
I'm not
exactly.
here to help you guide you to anything. I'm here and I'm going to tell you about my stories. I'm going to tell you
Yeah,
about what I've went through. I'm going to tell you about what I believe in and
yeah,
what my morals are. And that's
yeah,
me as Vibe Reactions. I'm not
yeah,
doing a page saying, hey, I'm just like you. Come and
yeah,
join because I'm not like you. You're a
yeah,
different person than I am. So
yeah,
think once I started getting there, as I start getting bigger and I start growing and keep on doing this, I keep on finding out that I know who truly is watching me because they want to see my perspective on things, and
yeah,
or they just want to sit there and they want to laugh with me. So
yeah,
I know who are the real ones, and I know who are there just passerbyers just to
yeah,
say a mean comment and then leave and never subscribe.
yeah.
I would rather use my energy, my whole energy, for the people that are actually here for me than for
Well,
somebody that is just here just because I hurt their feelings because that's something I said.
oh yeah, of course. And I think, and then it's also all of that. I talked about this subject also with Manny, because we were talking about the values that we put out in our channel. And I think when you're really genuine in creating your channel and you want to be authentic, then you have your own values that you put out. And so people who are going to subscribe, they're going to adhere to your values and to your morals, compass. And so the real subscribers and the ones that are really there with you from day one and that, are invested in you are people that have, the same moral compass than you have. And they're probably going to stay anyway because they just like who you are and what you
Right.
represent. And it's so important to keep that in mind, I think, when you have a channel and not, completely diverge from that and do, completely opposite content, because that's also how you tank a channel, and that has happened to some people who have completely changed the values of their channels.
That's why I always made it a rule of thumb for myself, like just for myself, not that every reactor has to do this, but that's why I've always said I don't care what you send me. I
Yeah.
don't care what type of music it is. I do not care if it's mainstream or independent. I don't care if it's a chicken rapping in front of a piano. I don't care what it is. If you guys really want me, like, I didn't even know one person liked me. For me to have 142,000 people to say that they mess with me is crazy.
Yeah,
So send me whatever. I don't care. I'm not ever going to stop myself and just stick to one. I'll probably pay a little bit more mind for like about a week or two to one genre of music. But for overall, I have all types of music in my channel that I react to. So it's not just one thing
but was that your idea from the get-go, that you were
from the
just going to
beginning.
react to everything? Yeah.
Because you know how most reactors they come out because they think just because they'll react to 3 4 Eminem songs they're going to be at 1 million subscribers. That's how some reactors their mind goes to. So I
Yeah.
was one of those dumbass reactors, and I was just like, oh, I could just react to M. I'm like, and then I was just like, but I know everything about Eminem. What's fun about that?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that, I can't sit here and say I've never heard of Eminem. This is Ray. I'm gonna go and react to him now. First song, and then oh my god, did you hear what he said? No, because if my wife sees it, I'm the one who's gonna get my ass whipped when I get home. So I'm not gonna waste my time doing that. She's gonna be like, "You
Yeah.
heard that song 15 times just last week, and you're gonna say you never heard it?" No, so I can't live with myself knowing that. So I was like,
Yeah.
all right, then what the hell do I do if I can't use M? If I can't like, what do I do? Because I never knew about independent artists. I never knew that they were like that out here.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
thought it was just mainstream. I'm gonna stick to mainstream because that's all I knew. And
Yeah.
then I heard of Easy Mill. Then I heard of all these other independent artists. I'm like, up church. And then I heard about Ren. And when I heard about Ren, I was like, game the fuck over. When
Oh
I
yeah.
heard his
Well,
song,
did you start with Hiren?
yes.
Okay. So good place to start.
Oh
Yeah.
my god. It was a great place because like I said, I'm 10 years sober and I'm still going through sobriety and I still struggle every single day. And a
Mm,
lot of these artists I connect with, like with their story, like for real. And then when I heard Hiren, it was like, yo, he's having the conversation that I should have had with my brain when I was going through what I was going through. And I resonated with that one so much that I'm like,
yeah.
oh my god, I've never connected besides Eminem. I've never connected with an artist like
Yeah.
that, because he was talking like if he was telling my story in that song,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
that's what really got me. And I was just like, no, he's not just a rapper. Like calling Ren a rapper is just to me disrespectful. He's more than that. He's an artist.
Oh yeah.
He's a poet. He the way he speaks, the pictures that he paints in his lyrics, even when he's talking,
Yeah.
it's just from a whole nother world.
Oh yeah, for sure. I was talking about this with Carl from Disco Doc, and he asked me why I thought that Ren was able to make so many people around the world from different cultures and backgrounds and countries feel like they were heard and seen, and what connected him, those people, to him so deeply. And I think it's just because he's also just talking about us as humans, what it is to be a human, and what the feelings and emotions are. Because if you start talking about real emotions, then we all feel those emotions as humans, wherever we're
Absolutely.
from.
And I think that me listening more and more Ren, I think that without him wanting to or without him knowing, probably, I think that was the main target. It's just to talk about like the money games and everything else that he has put out, that you could really learn everything as a human being, not as a race, a religion, or anything. As a human, in a human being level,
Yeah.
he talks to you.
Yeah.
Where in a lot of other rap, it's not really that connected to that point where it could connect to almost everybody around the world. It only will connect to certain people in certain levels in life that they're in whatever area that they're living in. So it's really different the way he does it, because you could be a 16-year-old kid that's hitting his teens, that he or she does not know nothing right now, and
Mm,
listen to Ren and learn a lot. Or you could be a 60, 80-year-old
yeah.
man
Yeah.
and say, oh, well, you know what, he actually makes a great point, or actually something resonate with something that he said
Yeah.
that makes him change or
Yeah.
move a little bit different to the positive side of life.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
think that's what the whole thing of Ren is just that
Oh, yeah.
it's not only that he's good at what he does lyrically, obviously, or
Mm,
musically. It's
mm.
just that as a human, he understands us.
And I think what is also extremely important, but that's on a different level, is that as a man, as a white man, especially, he is in a certain position, like from the get-go, in regards to society, to our world as it is today. And but as this young white man, he is being extremely vulnerable and showing that to be a man today is also to talk openly about what is inside and how you're feeling. And that if you do that, then the reciprocity of understanding and love is so much bigger than to keep that bottled up.
And I think it's just I think that's going to be one of his biggest struggles, is breaking that barrier of, I'm a man, so I can't show my emotion.
Yeah.
I'm a man. I'm not supposed to be this way. I'm not supposed to be talking about what's going on with me. That's not that I can't do that, because in our brains we think if we do that, then we're considered less of a man. And
Yeah.
and I'm like, well, it's going to take a bigger man to raise a son that's going to be able to take care of his wife and kids. And in order
Mhm.
for you to do that, you have to conversate with that boy. You have to have conversations, and you have to open up in feelings, because how is
Yeah.
that boy ever going to trust their father
Yeah.
and come to them with any issue if that open line of communication is not going to be there?
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
So I mean, I think that's going to be the biggest part, because hip hop is mainly that bravado, that man, the cojones. You have to be a man in order for you to make it through this thing, and da da da. And I'm like, you could be vulnerable all day long. People will connect to you more if you are vulnerable. I
But
guarantee right
also,
now that if a gangster rapper from down the street that likes to rhyme gun with fun could just sit down and write a whole song about what he's actually been through, and even if it doesn't lyrically rhyme, if you actually are just talking to the people
yeah.
with a beautiful beat or a fire beat, that alone could change the landscape.
Oh, of course. But I also think what is interesting is that he is also showing that you can be everything at the same time. You don't have to have only ego and bravado or be extremely vulnerable all the time and
Exactly.
just talk about sad shit,
Exactly.
you can be everything at the same time, because that also shows that we as humans, we're so complex because we don't only have one facet, of ourselves. We are many different
Multiple.
people in one. And so I think it also
And
shows
that's
that
exact. And not
you
to
can
cut
be
you off,
all
but
of
that's
that.
exact. Yeah, not to cut you off, but that's exactly why I have in my bio, father, husband, son, reactor, because I have a whole bunch of hats that I have to use on a daily
Yeah.
basis. And
Yeah.
it doesn't get easier with time. You get older, you get tired, you end up really not giving a fuck about nothing as you get older. So it starts getting easier, but at the same time, you still have to be on top of all those hats that a man has to wear.
Yeah.
Ren wears them very fucking well. A man that
Oh, yeah.
with his sickness, with Lyme disease, and going through everything that he goes through with that sickness alone. Take everything else that a normal person has to deal with on a normal day.
Yeah.
Add that on top of that,
Mhm.
and then that's a sickness that will put you out for months. that you can't
Oh yeah.
do nothing. You can't. So
Yeah.
for him to still be like when he comes out with his music and drops whatever he's dropping, to still see the love and the 100% that he gives, whether he's feeling bad or not,
Yeah.
should open a lot of people's eyes that don't use your sickness and don't use anything for an excuse. You
Yeah.
have it in you to keep on pushing and keep on fucking going. So, and
Yeah.
I hear Ren, I hear hope, I hear somebody that's really going to be a difference musically that might actually translate into just being in humankind, just being a better person morally within
Oh yeah.
yourself to keep it pushing.
Oh yeah, I really believe that too. And so if you started with high run, because now when was that actually? When was your first run reaction?
2 years ago, I want to
Oh,
say
so it
about two
was
years
really
ago.
it was really at the beginning then. You were, yeah, one of
Oh
the OGs then.
Oh yeah.
so
I wouldn't
so
say OGs, but I would say OGs. Yeah, I could be one
oh
of his
yeah.
OGs.
I think if you say 2 years ago with high run, that's in the first reactions
Yeah, but
that
he's done
came out.
so much music. He's done so much music before High Ren and
Oh
his
yeah, sure. But I mean, just from the reaction community alone, I mean,
oh,
it only started, 1.5 or 2 years ago where it really blew up. But so if you started with that one and that you've gone through, a bunch of his catalog right now, as of today, if Hyran hit that hard, now that you've heard so many other of his songs, is there any other song where you thought, oh no, this one is closer to my heart actually, or is it still Hyran?
it's still gonna be High Ren for the count.
Yeah,
Sick Boy is a very close second.
yeah.
Sick Boy is a very close second, but I think his money games very very like in debt into how society, social media, political, the way he gets in debt with the money games,
Yeah.
and it's just I can't really. It's hard. It's very difficult to besides those two main songs to say, all right, everything else was and then these two were the best one. He has so much out there. Murderer,
Oh no,
another
I
one.
wasn't. I wasn't saying like rating his songs or
Oh,
anything, but
okay,
I
okay.
know that depending on who I'm talking to and what their own story is and their own background, I mean, there are some lyrics and some lines that hit you like straight, really personal. So I know,
I would say Sick
yeah.
Boy, and Chalk Outlines with Chinchilla.
Oh, yeah.
Animal Flow. I love it. Just technically the way what he did there technically was
Yeah.
amazing. It showed really like like the production and a lot of time went into making that video, and you could just kind of
Oh,
tell
yes.
because the editing was crazy on that.
For sure. And
Um,
I mean, Animal Flow and Illest of Our Time, it's those videos where I can really imagine because I have friends who are artists and independent musicians, and I know how it is when you have that idea and you're like, oh, this is going to be fucking great. Now we only have to get like 30 of our closest friends to get in a 12-hour shoot. And so it's like, so that, I mean, when I watch those videos, I'm like, wow, you really have people who love you
like
because
he like
that's not easy to pull off.
his camp his camp is that man's backbone. That the
Oh
type
yeah.
of people he has around him is like you'll be lucky for one day. We'll be lucky for one day to have a team as good as what Ren's team does for him, because those
Oh
they put the work in. They put a lot of work to make his stuff look
oh,
like
yeah,
as
that's
professional as possible.
yeah, and I also think that it's his team is actually a huge part of his success because there are if we take a step back, and have a hard pragmatic look at everything, there are many extremely talented people on this planet, extremely talented musicians and artists, but they don't all have a team of 10 people around them that are highly skilled, that are
Right,
with them all the time. So, I mean, it's like this is like the perfect combination that happens once in a million, to have someone like him be backed by a team that is so skilled that it really becomes like a whole effort, because it's not only him, being really good at writing, rapping, or guitar or whatever. It's like him and the entire team, because if he was completely alone doing this, it wouldn't at all, I think, be at the same level it is now today. And it's also
I
because he
think
has
I
these
think
many
I think
people around.
it's I think as quality wise goes on the videos part of it,
Yeah.
you're probably right. Obviously, in the music part of it, it'll still be the same level
Oh,
of artistry. Yeah,
musically
but
for sure.
but yeah, definitely because the people that he has that has his back, these are the best in the best in
Oh,
doing what they do, and but that's why I like the community that we're building right now, or
yeah.
that's built, and we're in there and we're trying to build it and grow it more because we connect as reactors, as people, as content creators. We could connect with people that know how to do these things and then build that team and
Yeah.
then have like you're the act and then I could do all the production, I could do the promos, I could do
Yeah.
this, I could do that, and just build something from the ground up. As long as you guys are 100% confident when that talent is
Yeah.
is something that's going to be worth putting all your time into it.
Oh, yeah, of
Once
course.
once the talent is there,
Yeah.
everybody else that does production and promo and everything already, their brains already going, already know what
Yeah.
to do.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah. Yeah.
that
Sure.
Ren having that team being not only his friends
Yeah.
is just the craziest thing in the world. But shout out to everybody out there in Ren's team because those guys,
Oh,
they really have his back, and I've never seen so much humble people in my life than the Renegades and everybody in Ren's team. That they're in it for Ren to win. They're not in it for their own pockets or anything like that. I'm pretty
oh,
sure
yeah.
they get they get compensated very well, but I'm just
Yeah.
saying they're not there for that. They're there because they see the talent, they see the vision that he's trying to put out, and
Yeah.
they're 100% with it.
And also because I think because Ren has this profound belief in the Hive intelligence, and he puts that out with his team. He shows, like, I don't know if you've seen. Are you on his Patreon? Did
Yes,
you did Yeah. So, oh yeah, because I've talked to you on there. But so I have you seen the last few videos they put out about putting together the money games with the, where they had to go to the island and everything. Did you see those
I
videos?
I haven't seen those videos yet. I've been busy. I haven't even
Oh,
dropped on the Patreon for a while.
so when you watch those videos, that's where you understand exactly how all of this works. Because what it is that, so you're aware that there was this game going on during the songs, when the songs were
Right?
released. They had this huge treasure hunt going
Yeah,
on
yeah,
on.
yeah, yeah.
And so now they put the videos out of how it all happened and how they put all of this together, because it's quite crazy. And so, because it's really a crazy idea to do that. And so
That is dope.
it, the interesting thing is also what I love about him and his team is that there's always someone filming them. So they have like all of this footage of like behind the scenes footage that is really amazing, because it's so interesting to see them work together and see how they come
Right.
up with stuff and how he works. And so you have this first video, they're just sitting on the balcony. And so they're trying to think about what it could be and how they would do those games. And they are, you know, all three of them are just bouncing off one another with
Brainstorming.
constantly. And they're like, oh yeah, this is a good idea, yeah, write that down. And another one has another idea, oh yeah, write that down. And it's like, because he allows all of this input, that's also why this is working so well, because there are so many artists that have one vision, and then they have blinders on and they want to go
That's
only in this direction and have no one tell them, oh, maybe you could do this also, but Ren, he's so
open.
he believes in this hive intelligence, that everyone has something to bring to the table that maybe he didn't think about. And this is
Right.
also what all of that great. It's just this teamwork is
And
amazing.
he posted something on Instagram. It was a clip of the his clothing line, the commercial clothing line that he put out. So when
Yeah.
he put that out, I reacted to it.
Yeah.
and he posted it on he posted a whole bunch of reactors on his Instagram,
Yeah.
and then I looked at it and I was like, oh, Red's gonna have to go put me in a movie. I didn't know he was a director too, but joking around and everything like that. And then he was like, and then he answered back to that saying that might work, and I'm like, what? Don't do that. Like, you don't want me in one of your videos. I'm gonna mess up the whole mood, bro. I'm gonna mess up the whole mood. But it's just that. But that's what makes him different. He is so
Yeah.
humbled that he is willing to give me the ideas. Help me. Like, I want to see different ideas because he plays chess, not checkers. He's very
Yeah.
strategic when he does his thing.
Yeah.
So if he takes your idea, my idea, Lockwolf idea, Disco Doc, and Brain Squeeze, he could take all of our ideas and blend it in a blender and
Yeah.
then come out with some theatrical shit that we've never seen before in our lives.
Of
So
course.
having that team is absolutely part of his success. At
Oh,
100%. Those people
oh,
are amazing over there.
oh, yeah, I think so. And they're all, I don't know them personally, but I think from what I see, and there is, as I said, there's just so much footage from all of them that we're seeing all the time. And I think you can't really have like five people put on this mask and put on an act for so long. I mean, this
Yeah,
just means that they are nice and genuine people. And
absolutely.
and I think, yeah, that it's really, really so great. But so how do you think that the growth of your channel really has something to do with the Renegades? Is that really, if you
Every
hadn't found Ren, that
Well,
would be,
I wouldn't say if I haven't found Ren, because before I started reacting with Ren's reactions and the I think the big push I did last. I think I did Ren and then I did the big push because I did the band. I did a whole
yeah,
series of the bands as well.
yeah,
But when I have Elvis fan bases that they boost. So all these fan bases are going to give you always a push and a boost to your stuff. But
yeah,
I could say the Ren is one of the only fan bases that I've gotten with that not only watch my Ren reactions, they watch everything else.
every-
And that's
yeah,
and that's the biggest, like that right there, it will make me look at that fan base like, yo, they're true, like true fans. Because I got what, Upchurch Elvis, my main three ones are Upchurch Elvis, Angelina Jordan, and Rent. Those are my
yeah,
main three biggest fan bases that I have following me. And all four of those, every person in that fan base watches every single one of my videos. And Ren
yeah,
is absolutely. But when I did started reacting to Ren, that gave me the biggest boost I've seen.
yeah,
That
yeah,
boosted me to a different subscriber count faster than any other
yeah,
rest of them. But
yeah, yeah.
it's because they're so strong. They work in unison, and that's the problem. They all work together as a unit, and it's beautiful to see.
Oh yeah, and I think that's really the strength there is in the Renegades, is that you can see every time, you can see it in the Patreon, in the rabbit hole, like every time someone finds a new reactor, they're going to post it straight away, like, too few
Immediately,
counts, go and check him out, why does this guy have, these many views, go to him. And it's like they're really, yeah, it's like this wave of people that goes, that sways from one,
right?
from one person to another. And I think you can see that in the community too, because people are helping each other out all the time. And the other day I posted, on Patreon and on the rabbit hole, I asked if anyone knew about a renegade group that was concerned with, the LA fires, because there's so many people that have,
Yeah,
lost their homes now, and there are probably a few renegades in there. And I wanted to know if anyone was in touch, and immediately I got like multiple comments like, you can go there and see this, and this person lives in LA, and blah blah blah. And
right.
so I think this is something I've only seen with this fan base. It's
They're
really,
they're
the
they're different.
unity there is really amazing. Yeah, I think it's really
They're
great.
different. That's why I'm proud to call myself a renegade. They dubbed me the uncle of the renegades. So I take it.
Yeah, that's good. And so what are your now that you're at in this situation with your channel and that you're doing this full time, what are your projects now for this year or for, the years to come? What is
2025 is going to be a busy year for my channel because we're doing. Not only do I have the Patreon open now, so I'm working on making videos for that, but I also got the Ren's karaoke. The second one is
yeah, I
coming.
saw that.
Yeah, February 1st at 6 p.m. I have Abby Girl Reacts. She's coming in as a special guest. And then I got a
Yeah.
surprise guest. I had a surprise guest that I'm going to reveal that night. Um,
Oh.
and we're going to do is a Valentine's Day version. So it's only Ren singing. So I
Oh,
don't
okay.
want to hear. I don't want them to karaoke. No rapping. It's just all the songs that Ren have. Sing away and sing your
Yeah.
heart out. Because a lot of
Yeah.
people are like Ren doesn't have only Valentine's Day songs, and I was like singing. You don't rap for Valentine's Day. You sing for Valentine's Day. So singing. So we
Yeah,
got that coming.
I was going to say love songs, not so much, but yeah,
Yeah,
singing.
he got a lot of singing ones. So do all the singing ones he's got. Go ahead and
Yeah.
do it. I don't care. I don't care. I don't even care if it's multiple same songs. We had so much fun the last time. We had
Yeah.
to bring it back and do a number two.
Oh yeah.
That's why I put the post out and I told the Renegades. I posted on the Patreon. Hey, I got the video ready for the promo for Red's karaoke with
Yeah.
Vibe. Um, Here it is. Email me if you guys want the actual video,
Yeah.
and it was email after email after email after email because they're understanding what we got because this whole year is trying to push the new album for Ren that's coming out as much as possible.
Oh
That's
yeah,
the
sure. Yeah.
that's one of the goals that I have. The other one is obviously pushing up the Patreon, which is live now and
Hmm.
it's up and running, and just keep on bringing the reactions.
Oh yeah.
Connecting a lot more with the reactors. We're gonna do
Hmm.
a lot of different type of things in when it comes to content creating for the reactions themselves.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's a lot of fun things that we got working in the background on me and the rest of the guys. Keto, Truth No Lie, Brain Squeeze, Disco Doc, all of them. We got a lot of
Ah,
things
that's so
coming, so it's
great.
gonna be fun.
Did you probably, this is a stupid question, but you probably know about the TTIP podcast, right?
It's my
The
brothers.
Oh yeah. Have you already had them? Did you already do something together?
Yeah, we
Yeah.
did.
Oh, I haven't seen that one because I
Listen.
I'm in touch with them, to get them on the podcast and everything, and
Yeah,
it's like I love those guys. This is just like my heart. I mean, if I'm having a bad day, I put them on, and they're, oh my god.
those guys are amazing. Those are both of those guys came up to my podcast. I invited them up to my podcast, and I had
Yeah.
them up, and they had did a pregnancy simulator test, and then they were like, shout out to Perp. Perp was the one that said, "Hey, we should go get Uncle Ray, challenge Uncle Ray to do it."
Okay.
So I told them if they come up to my podcast, then I'll do the challenge. So
Okay.
they came up to the podcast and we had a great, what was it, 2 hour conversation, just talking and just back and forth and laughing, and my cheek hurt by the end of the night.
Oh my
And
god.
then
Yeah, they're
and
so great.
and that at the end of it, it was I had to go and plug this machine on, and I went ahead. I had to do it for like 10 minutes, and it was the
Oh my
worst ten
god.
minutes of my life.
Oh
But
my
it was
god.
so much fun. Everybody loved it. The Renegades, when the reactors connect and we have Rent to thank for it,
Yeah.
these renegades, they love that. They love
Oh
that
yeah.
interaction that we have with each other. So I'm
Yeah.
hopefully gonna have them up soon again. I don't know. I want to there's a lot of other reactors out there that are in the renegade community that I really want to focus on bringing light, because that's another thing. It's focused on bringing light to other reactors and independent reactors out there, or artists that
Yeah.
just don't have the subscriber count that they should be having. So I'm going to be focusing on a lot of these smaller pages on trying to see if I could get them somewhere that they should be instead of where they're
Yeah.
at right now.
Have you already? I'm sorry, I'm asking so many questions about your channel,
I'm
but
good.
I couldn't go through all of your
I'm
videos,
good.
obviously.
There's 3,500. Have fun.
Yeah, yeah, because we would have done our podcast next June, so I couldn't go through all of that.
I want to work on something, but I like to put a lot of stuff in my plate because I can't work right if I don't have chaos.
Yeah,
So I try to put as much stuff in my plate as possible so I could run like a crazy man. But that's the only way that I have fun and I'm actually happy with it. So
yeah, I understand what you're saying. It's like for me, it's well, I have to work with everything at the same time, because if I have only one thing to focus on,
right.
then I'm going to get kind of bored, or I'm going to go, yeah, well, I don't want to do that for 2 days. So it's like I have to have multiple things going on, and then I'm like, oh my god, I have to do
like
this,
like
this, and this,
like
this,
right
and
now, me and you are talking, and right now I got two video editing because another reactor, Captain Kurt, shout out to him. He comes and tells me, he's like, bro, just add a little bit of editing to your videos. So I'm starting to add a little bit of editing, and I'm just like,
yeah.
bro, this is taking too long. Like, I can't be doing this, man. This is like, I gotta clip and cut and do this and do that. I don't want to do none of this. And then I'm just like, but it does make the video, it gives it a little bit more quality. So
Yeah,
I'm
yeah, yeah.
starting to do that. So I got like 3 videos editing. After we talk, I have another 4, and then I'm going live at 9. And then I have to, but I have to do that because if I don't, it's like if I focus on just doing reactions, I'm gonna be like, not today. I'll
Yeah,
do it tomorrow. And then no, I
yeah,
gotta keep it like spicy.
yeah.
Because my wife even told me, I was like, all right, babe, I'm gonna go do some videos. 3 o'clock, nobody touched the door to the studio because I have an interview. And then she's like, what? She's like, don't you go live tonight? I was like, yeah. And she was like, okay. She was like, just have fun. I guess she's like, I don't know. You're crazy. And then she just goes back to work. And I'm just like, whatever. But I have to. I have to because I have ADHD bad. And
No,
my mind goes to a
yeah.
lot of different places. And it's
I
just
I
crazy.
feel you, yeah. I've had in the past few weeks that I have had so many sleepless nights because I'm like, and when I'm hyper focusing on something, like for example with the editing, it's particularly bad because I'm like, oh, I'm just going to finish this video, and I'm in my head, I'm lying to myself. I'm like, this
Right.
is going to take 45 minutes, and 4 hours later I'm still in front of the computer, and I'm like, oh well, now that I've been working for 4 hours, I can maybe just do one more because I'm almost at the end
We
of this
already
shit.
here.
And
Oh my
so
God, Lisa, do you understand how many times I have sitting here and I've done the same thing over and over again? When you see me do 7, 8 videos a day, it's because at video 3, I'm like, well, this is taking forever to load. I might as well keep on recording, and then I'll just keep on recording and recording, and then throw out 8 react. I had one of my subscribers, oh Lord, he was like, "Bro, how do you expect me to catch up with every single reaction you put when you dropping 8 a day?" He is like, "It's hard to catch up." I was like, "Well, enjoy the weekend because I don't do videos on the weekend." And I was like, "Just
yeah,
sit there with the
yeah.
family, watch a whole day of me. I don't care." But he was like, "You're working too much. Calm. I can't. I can't. I have to keep on going."
Oh, and especially when it's something you're so passionate about, and I can really understand, the passion in this, because what I'm doing, I really love what I do, and it's like really the perfect mix of everything that makes me me. And so it's like I'm so
How many languages do you speak?
free.
What are they?
I speak French, English, and German.
You got me beat by I got 2. You got me beat by 1.
What do you speak?
Oh, English and Spanish.
Oh, I would love to learn Spanish. I can teach you German if you want.
How you gonna take the easy one? Spanish is easy to teach you. German is not. Well, I heard that German is real similar to learning Spanish.
Yeah, from grammatically it's not that
Yeah.
different. But still, I mean, German and French are two fucked up languages to learn. I mean, English is really easy. So yeah, trying to learn French or German is really, really difficult. But I could still teach you a few things. But
I would like
yeah,
to learn a third. I would love to learn a third. I want to have at least my 5. One of my 5-year goals is in 5 years. I want to at least learn a third language. If I could learn
Oh.
at least to defend myself in a third language, right? Like right now, my wife is taking I think she's taking Chinese
Oh yeah, that's
because
great.
she wants to learn how to speak Chinese. I
Yeah.
told her I want to learn how to speak Italian because I want to baby step it. Italian is very close to Spanish, so if I could
Right.
defend myself in Italian, like speaking their dialect, then I'm fine.
And
I'll slowly.
and with your like with your personality, Italian would be amazing if you would speak Italian, because in Italy they have like these big personalities too, and they talk with their hands, and you already do that. You talk a lot with your
Well,
hands.
because I mean, it has a lot to do with Italian people because I was born and raised in Brooklyn, New York, where there was nothing
Ah,
but Italians and Polish people around me. I had
yeah,
in my neighborhood, we had the Hispanics, blacks, and stuff like that. But where I went to school, where I hung out, where I played baseball, everything like that was in an Italian and a Polish environment. So I
yeah.
learned the talking because I am Dominican, so we talk with our hands, but
Ah,
my
yeah, yeah.
accent, like if you listen to my sisters, I have three sisters, and if you listen to them speak English and you listen to my parents speak it, they don't speak it like I do it. I
Okay.
speak it with an Italian accent
Yeah,
with
a
it.
little bit, yeah.
They speak English like a Dominican that knew how to speak English. So it's completely different. So my sisters keep
Yeah.
on asking me like, where the hell did you get that? And I was like, I didn't hang out with a lot of Hispanics. I hung out with mainly black and Italian.
Italians, yeah.
And they were like, that makes sense. And I was
Oh
like,
yeah,
yep.
it does. It does really. It does really, because you have a very Italian vibe. So yeah, it does.
I've hung out with too many of them to the point that they told me they were like, "Nah, you're just a dark skinned Italian. You're not Dominican." And I'm just like, "Well, whatever."
Well, I think maybe the Italians in Brooklyn are not exactly the same as the Italians in Italy.
Nope,
I Yeah, I
not at
think
all.
they have their own culture and everything,
Oh yeah.
so it's completely different. But so you grew up in the same area as Manny from Goatworthy. Then
Hmm.
you come from
Yeah,
the same place,
yeah.
yeah.
And he's the and Goat is well, Manny, you call him. I call him Goat, but
Yeah, go. He has Dominican
he's
parents
Dominican.
too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
Dominican as well. So like when we found that out from each other, guys, I wholeheartedly thought he was black, and he thought
Oh
that I
yeah.
was black,
Oh.
and we were just like, and then when I said I had him up, I brought him up live one day. I was just hanging out and he was there, and I brought him up, and me and him are talking, and then I say something in Spanish. He was like, "Are you Dominican?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he was like, "I'm Dominican too." And I was like, "What the?" And then we just started speaking in Spanish for like 10 minutes.
Oh, that's
Everybody in
great.
my chat was confused. They didn't know what the hell just happened. But I'm like, "Look, when two Dominican meet, you got to get out of the way because it's going to be a lot of loud screaming, and we're family automatically." But that's my brother. I love him, man.
Oh yeah. And especially when you find out not only that you have that connection, but you grew up in the same place too. Like it's like you have all of these connections. And I think yeah.
there was something that when me and him talked that he mentioned, we literally found out that me and him were in the same place at the same time without us even
No
knowing each other
way. No
because
way.
that's how close we live next to each other.
Oh wow.
Like
That's amazing.
obviously I'm a couple of years older than him, but not that far, not that far old.
Yeah, but
And I'm just like, all right, we were in the same streets doing the same thing probably at the
yeah.
same time, and we never met. That's crazy. That was
But
nuts to
that's
me.
like that's such a full circle moment in your life sometimes, where you're like, oh my god, we just came back to meeting and knowing about each other, and that's amazing.
It was crazy. It was nuts. I loved it.
Oh, that's really great. My mom had a similar experience because she's from Germany. And so she's from a small village in Germany. And so she met my dad when she was in Germany, but he's British, and he was in a university as a for his PhD or something. And so they met there. And then they moved to England. I was born in Germany. Then we moved to England, and then we moved to Switzerland. And when they built their house, it was like in a I don't know how you call it in America, but it's like, houses that are being built at the same time, just like to have
Oh, it
a.
was yeah. It's like a community housing.
Yeah, yeah. And so we when everything was done, we all of the families moved into the houses, so we were all, in the span of a month or so, everybody moved in and we got to know our neighbors. And she became extremely close with our neighbor, the house behind us, who was also German. And then one day they had a coffee together and they found out, because they're the same age, and they found out that actually they lived just one village apart, so maybe
That's
3 miles apart for their
oh my.
entire life. And they never knew each other. They even had friends in common, but they never knew each other. They never got to
That's
meet. And then in another country they moved next to each other and they actually grew up together to
that's
and know the same people. It's just
see,
amazing.
it's crazy because that happens to me a lot more than what people think it does. Because I'm in Florida now. I moved down to Florida in
Yeah,
Florida 2004. I moved down in Florida, and as I'm working, because I worked in the auto part industry,
yeah,
I meet a lot of people every day. A lot of customers come in every day, and I work in a service department. And I'm these guys are working on cars. I'm on the computer and I'm working. I see a customer just staring at me for a very uncomfortable amount of time that you should be staring at somebody, and I'm
yeah,
just there, and I'm just like, and I feel the heat, and I'm just like,
yeah.
I'm like, is there anything I can help you, sir? And he was like, where you from? And I was like, I'm from my mom. And then he was like, no, be for real, be for real. And I was like, I'm from Brooklyn. I was born and raised in Brooklyn. He like, what part of Brooklyn? And I was like, Williamsburg. And he went, that's where I know you. And he got excited. He thought he won the lottery. And he was like, brother, do you remember? And he tells me this story. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, what's scaring me now is, why is this sounding familiar?
Yeah, of
Everything that
course.
he's saying, I'm just like, hold
Yeah.
on. And then I find out that he owned the grocery store where I lived at underneath for like 10 years.
Oh, wow.
And he's seen me get into a fight down the street from there. And he was the one that grabbed me and brought me inside the apartment building and closed the door because the cops were coming. And he
Oh
was
my
like, you don't
God.
remember me? And I was like, I'm gonna give you a 10% discount just for that, brother. I got you. And but we stood in contact. We've had lunch a couple of times together. Like
Oh,
that's the dopest thing in the world to do when that happens.
oh yeah, that's amazing. Oh, that's really great. Now, I love stories like that because, those are the stories that are, all about humanity, and just, it's just genuine appreciation and love for someone, just when you
Absolutely.
feel that connection, it's just amazing.
I'm just
But
still trying to figure out to this day how he figured out it was me, because when I got into that fight, I was like 150 pounds less and a lot more muscular than I am now. I like, how did you figure that out? I blew up a lot by that time. But he knew me. He was like, dude, your face never changed. He's like, you look
yeah.
exactly the way you looked like when you were a teenager. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I got to do a lot of work then if I looked like that when I was a teenager. Like, Jesus Christ.
Oh, that's amazing.
Whenever you free or whenever you have the time, my podcast is open. Whenever you want to jump up, let me know.
Oh
I'll
yeah.
fit you in and we'll get up there. We'll have a conversation.
Oh yeah, I would love to do that. I would love to be on your podcast. That would be amazing. Thank you so much. And I had such a good time. It was exactly what I imagined it would be, meeting you. And you're such a great person. I just, I love this energy you have, and this positivity that you're putting out. It's just wonderful, to give that
Thank you
to
so
people
much.
like this. It's really, really nice. So thank you. And I was really, really happy meeting you.
Appreciate you so much, Lisa. Thank you so much.